actually to why we can't address our health issues in isolation. So for those of you that know not very much or nothing at all about Ayurveda, it's a health system that originated in India somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 years ago. But what I love about it is it truly helps us to understand our body on a much deeper level. And when I say body, I mean our physical body, our emotional body, our energetic body, our spiritual element as well. And how these all intertwine to create our state of mental health, our state of physical health, our general excitement for life, and our ability to show up as our best possible version of ourselves so that we can really share that gift of who we are with the world. And what I see so often when speaking to new clients is we're still in this very Western mindset around our health. So I have this issue, it needs curing. And I was there. That was me with my arthritis. I wasn't bothered about anything else. I just wanted the pain to go away. I wanted my mobility back. I wanted to be able to do all the things that were important to me. I wanted to be able to play with my kids again. I wanted to be able to pick up my newborn son. And that was all I cared about. I didn't care about the other stuff. I wanted some magic pill, something to just take it all away. And that's kind of how we're brought up in the West, isn't it? Is to think if you've got a symptom or an issue, you take a pill or you do this one thing and that's it. It's gone. It's sorted. Move on to the next issue. But what we know is actually you're only touching the tip of the iceberg. When you do that, you're literally just sorting out the tip of the iceberg and something else will grow in its place. A bit like cutting off a flower's head. You can do like get rid of that flower, get rid of that weed, but another one will grow unless you really look at the root. If you don't look at the root, then sometimes it comes back even stronger and even larger with more problems. And this is kind of what I did for a really long time. I, would have a health niggle and I would take something to address that. And then another one would appear and then another one would appear. And then lo and behold, I got really ill. And it wasn't until I got really ill. And I now see this as like the biggest blessing I could ever possibly have had was coming down with something I couldn't ignore, something that I couldn't just push away, something that I had to really stop and think about and go, right, what's going on here? Yes, Melanie, looking at everything as a whole. And so in Ayurveda, we look at it all. We look at it all from the elements and the qualities. And what I mean by this, and some of you would be familiar with the doshas. And the doshas are really just categories in Ayurveda of patterns that show up in the body. They show up in the mind, they show up as physical symptoms, but you will have a pattern of an imbalance going on. And within that pattern, there's certain qualities that may or may not be present. And then that's how we would address that issue. So let me give you an example here, because it's maybe sounding a bit like I'm talking in riddles. So for example, if we said we had a Vata issue. So Vata is the elements of air and ether. And there's some really good qualities that come with Vata. So if you have a lot of Vata naturally, you're likely to be quite spiritual, very creative, wanting to travel and explore and look at new things and broaden your mind, and expand and grow. So that's a really beautiful side to Vata. But it also has a kind of shadow side in a way. And that shadow side is kind of running yourself into the ground in the respect of becoming depleted, becoming unbalanced, being all in your head and not in your body. Traveling too much, which is not great for our body. Taking on too much information, going into overwhelm, going into anxiety, going into fear-based thinking, constantly thinking about the what ifs and what if this happens and oh my gosh, what if I can't deal with that, and getting yourself into a tailspin. And on a physical level, this depletion and activity in the mind can cause dryness in the body. So if someone came to me with dry skin and they were presenting with a lot of other Vata issues, because dry skin is not always just a Vata issue, then we would look holistically at that. So I would be thinking, okay, what meditations are you doing? Are you doing meditations that are taking you out of your body and into your mind or into a higher state of consciousness? Because actually, those might be the worst things for you. What you want is something that's going to be grounding you down, things that are going to be bringing you back into your body, things that are going to connect you to the earth. I'd be thinking about the dryness of the food that you're taking in. Are you taking in things that are going to be drying you out? Are you taking in things that are going to be creating moisture within the body, and not just from a fluid form, but things from are you taking in enough oils? Are you taking in the right oils? Is the food being cooked in a way that's going to actually help alleviate that dryness? I'm also going to be thinking about what are you doing in terms of nourishing you up, in terms of your mind, your body, your soul, your skin, and how can we introduce some practices that are going to be so nourishing for you? I'm also going to be thinking about how nourishing are your relationships? How nourishing is your life? Are you doing things that actually make you feel really calm and content and grateful? Or are you living from a place of overwhelm, fear, and anxiety? But in the West, someone goes to a doctor or a pharmacist with dry skin and you get put on this cream. So you may tackle that dryness in the skin and that dryness goes away, but that dryness will appear somewhere else. It will appear in constipation. You will have dry stools. It will appear in a dryness of the mind. So you'll be less fluid with your thoughts. You will have stagnation starting to kick in because there isn't enough to get that movement going. You might end up with dry bones, so things like osteoarthritis, osteoporosis. These things are all from a dryness point of view. So my advice today is to start thinking about, where have you got those niggles? And are they asking you to start tackling them now? Or are you just going to chop off the head? Or are you going to look deep down into the root and address that? because it's not until we do that that we really start to transform. And what do I mean by transform? Because that's such a huge word. Fundamentally, you will be you. There is no changing that. And we don't want to change that. That's what makes you amazing. That's what makes you beautiful. And that's what the world needs, is you in your truest form. So you will transform in terms of letting go of the parts of you that aren't you. You will be showing up with more energy. You will feel like you've got more vitality. You will be clearer in your thoughts. You'll be clearer in your decision making. You will be clearer in what's the right thing for you. So that sounds like something huge when you only come in with dry skin, but it's how it works. And that's why I love Ayurveda. I came to Ayurveda with arthritis. And I was going to say I've left. I haven't left Ayurveda at all. I am fully in Ayurveda and will be for the foreseeable future. I can't see an end to my Ayurveda journey. But I'm now at the point where I wake up with more energy than I had. I genuinely cannot remember the last time I had this level of vitality. I think I want to say like as a child, but I really don't think I felt even the best version of me as a child. You know, I was a child that used to turn to food a lot for comfort. So a lot of the time my diet wasn't wonderful. I had a lot of stuff going on at home. So those things were affecting me. Whereas now I wake up looking forward to the day ahead. But the most wonderful thing is my clients are saying it too. And that just absolutely fills me with joy. Melanie, have a new customer in pain and other stuff, stress and balance. I'm suggesting Reiki healing to help, first of all, as a whole. Definitely will help, lovely. But I'd also think of every other element going on there. Pain is generally a Vata issue. If it's unexplained pain, things like fibromyalgia, which is like the pain within the nervous system, where the nervous system goes into overload, then generally these are Vata issues. So we have to think about everything there. I would be thinking about the food they're taking in. I'd be thinking, how able are they to stick to a routine and how can I support that? How are they grounding? There's so many elements. But in a way that feels really not overwhelming, because with Vata, overwhelm is likely to be playing a part as well. So that was kind of my snippet of sharing with you today, just to give you a bit of an insight into how Ayurveda really works. Because I think we can have an idea that it's just a bank of herbal wisdom. And by gosh, it's a bank of herbal wisdom, and I love the herbal side of it. Please do not get me wrong. I love being a herbalist and working with nature, but it shouldn't be used as a magic pill. It's there to support rather than a quick fix. So, any questions on that while I'm here? Any questions on Ayurveda? Anything that feels unclear or you're not sure about? Because one of the other things I will say is sometimes we can think, well, I'm meditating and I'm doing yoga and I'm eating a healthy diet, therefore it's fine. So holistically, yes, but are they aligned? And that's the part that Ayurveda gives us. It gives us the alignment to ensure we're addressing the problem rather than just holistically thinking we're looking after our health. Okay, lovelies. Well, I am wishing you a gorgeous week. I invite you to really start thinking about your holistic health, and not from a superficial point of view, not from a point of view of I'm doing yoga, tick, I'm doing exercise, tick, I'm doing meditation, tick, but really thinking into the qualities behind what are the issues you're experiencing, and intuitively, what might be the qualities you need to increase. Now, if you want any support with this, you're welcome to come join us in the membership, obviously. But if not, you can really feel into this intuitively. So tune into your inner wise woman, tune into your medicine woman, and let us know what you discover. I would love to hear. Otherwise, I am wishing you a gorgeous week. I will see you next Monday. And I'm planning on being here for the next however long on a Monday at 12 o'clock. So if you do have any questions, feel free to bring them along, or message me directly, or reach out if you want some support. Otherwise, I will see you soon. Take care.